Hi guys, welcome to another video tutorial. I'm Joseph Botnar. In this video tutorial, I'm going to continue what I have done in the last video tutorial when I showed you how to calculate the weight differences for some patients in a care home or a hospital. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to calculate the BMI. So these two, the weight differences and BMI are related to because the formula used to calculate BMI using inside the formula the weight and the height. So this is the formula which is used to calculate the BMI. The weight is divided by height squared. If you want to use pounds as a unit of measurement, you need to use another formula. So I'm going to use the UE, the European unit of measurement, kilograms for weight and meters for height. You can use in this formula, if you want, centimeters for height. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna first to unprotect this sheet. If you remember in the last video tutorial, I protect this sheet. To be able to do something in this sheet, I need to unprotect it because I need weights, as I told you, to calculate BMI. So let's unprotect this sheet. I'm gonna to type the password, and in this moment this sheet is unprotected. I'm going to create another sheet for BMI. So I'm going to rename this sheet to BMI. Right click with the mouse and let's write here BMI. Okay. And because the table which I'm going to use to calculate the BMI is not very different, the similarities is very close. I'm going to copy this table and paste it here in the new BMI sheet. Here you go. I'm going to change the name from weight differences to BMI. Here you go. And here for January, I'm gonna to insert another column because here in this table, BMI table, I need two columns for each month of the year. Let's do here some changes. I go here in Home tab, and here in Borders, I'm gonna to use this no borders because I want to do some changes here. Again, I'm going to use this thick outside the borders. Yeah, I'm going to center this January month with using this merge center. Okay. The first column is used for height, and the next one for calculating BMI. So in this column, in the second column, I'm gonna to calculate the BMI. So let's remove these from cells using delete key from keyboard. Here you go. As I told you, this column will contain the result of BMI. So I'm going to write here BMI, and the first column will contain the heights. Let's copy this. I think it's going to go faster. And And I'm going to copy a table which contains all weight categories for a BMI. Here you go. Let's do this larger a bit. Yeah, I think it's okay. As you can see, we have here all categories for weight, underweight, normal weight, overweight, obesity class 1, obesity class 2, obesity class 3. And the next two columns we have the BMI factors. So if the result of one resident, the result of BMI will be between 16 to 18.5, that means that resident will be underweight, and so on. That's why I need this table to know how I can frame, how I can fit one resident in these categories. Okay, so let's write the heights for each resident. Let it be 175. As I told you, I'm going to use meters as a unit of measurement for a height. Let it be a 180, let it be 160, 165, 170 meters. Okay, in this column I'm going to calculate BMI. I'm going to write the formula which will calculate the BMI. I'm going to use again if logical function. For the logical test position, I'm going to use or logical function. And as I told you, I need weight. I need the weights to calculate BMI. So I'm going to take over the weights from this sheet named weights. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to take over the weights from January month. First, I'm going to take over the weights from this cell B7. I go back here to BMI sheet. As you can see, when I was here, Excel display automatically the name of sheets from where I'm going to take over the weight. So I'm going to change this to weight because I need the weight from this sheet. And the name of sheet is followed by exclamation operator and the name of cell where I take over the weight from, in this case B7, followed by equal operator and quotation marks, comma, and I need to take over the height from this column. In this case will be the height from this cell B7. Yeah, in this case I don't need the name of sheet because it's the current sheet. I try to do the formula as simple as I can. Equal and quotation mark, comma, quotation mark, again comma. And now the next is the formula which will calculate the BMI. So which is the formula that will calculate the BMI? So is weight divided by height squared. I need again this weight from weight sheet, which I already have here in this formula. Yeah, is this weight exclamation operator B7. So I should take over the weight from this sheet weights from this cell B7. Yeah, I go back to BMI. Again, I should change the name of sheet from BMI to weights. Here you go. Dividing operator. I'm going to use power function, parentheses, and inside the parentheses I need the height squared. I'm going to remove the name of sheet because I don't need it, as I told you, comma, and the number which represent the power, so 2. Yeah, let's do another check to see if everything is all right. Let's go here to see if I take over the weight correct from correct cell. Yeah, B7. Yeah, I think it's correct. Weights B7. B7. Yeah, I think everything is all right. Now let's press enter, and here you go. This is the result of BMI for the first resident, for a resident. Let's reduce the number of decimals to 2. Yeah, and let's drag down this formula to the last resident, to the resident, and here we have the result of BMI for each resident. So let's do another check to be sure this is correct. Yeah, B7 for height, B7, and again B7 for height. Let's go back to weights. Yeah, B7. Okay, so how we can understand these factors which represent BMI. So we have for the first resident 26.12. So we can frame this A resident somewhere here inside this category overweight, because we, as you can see, we have the limits, the boundaries between 25 and 30, and the result for the first resident, for A resident, is 26.12. So this resident is framed here, but I would say the problem is not very big, because the result of BMI is very close to lower limit of this range overweight. So this resident is a bit overweight, but the concern is not very big. The next one, the result for B resident is 24.07, which is framed here in this category normal weight, which is very good, and so on for the rest of residents. So I'm going to copy this formula first here for February, to paste here in this column for February month. Okay, as you can see, the formula doesn't display anything. Why? I'm going to explain you in a minute, but let me to do the changes, because as I copy and paste this formula is not correct. You will see, because we have here D7, and if I go back to weights sheets, you will see we should take over the weight from C7 and not D7. Yeah, let's go back and let's write here, let's change here D7 to C7. For height, let's see if D7 is correct. B, C, D. I think D7 is correct. Here again, I should change from D7 to C7. And here inside the power function, D7 cell, I think it's correct. Let's press Enter key. Here you go. Let's drag down here this formula. As you can see, we have the formula in this all cells, but the formula doesn't display anything. Why? I explained to you in the last video tutorial why. Because as this logical function if works, this logical function if has 3 positions. The first position is the test, the next position is the true result. If a result of the test position is true, if a logical function is going to display the second position. If the result of the test is false, it's going to display the third position, the last position. So in my case, if a logical function result of the test will be false, if a logical function will calculate the BMI formula, because the last position, this one contains the BMI formula. But as you can see, the first position contains OR logical function, which is another logical function which plays inside if logical function as test. And how this logical OR function works. If at least one of these cells are true, the result of this logical OR function will be true. Actually, this works as follows. If these two cells are empty, which means the both are true, the result of OR function will be true. If at least one of these cells will be empty, so I'm going to enter one of these cells, that means the result or function will be again true. In other words, if these cells, the first one, C7, contains the weight, and another one, D7, contains the height. If I do not enter the weight, the logical function if doesn't display anything. The result will be nothing, will be an empty cell. If I don't enter the height, again, will be the result of if logical function will be an empty cell. If I'm gonna to enter the both, either weight and height, the result of this if logical function will be false, because the result of all logical function will be false, and then the logical function if will calculate the BMI, will execute the third position. Let's press the enter key, and as you can see, because I haven't entered any height for this residence, as I told you, BMI is not showed up. The logical function if doesn't display anything, display an empty cell. So actually I copy this because in heights is not going to be differences for any of these residents. If there will be differences, will be in weights, but not in heights. Usually, even there is going to be differences in heights that is going to be very insignificant differences. Let's copy this formula from February to each month. Here is not correct. 175, yeah. Here you go. Let's drag down this formula. Something is wrong. Let me to check again. What happened? Yeah, here is the problem. It's not the correct formula. Let's copy the BMI formula from May and paste it again. Let's drag the formula down till to the last resident. Here you go. Now I should do some changes here in this table, because this copy paste did a few changes here and the table doesn't look good anymore. Here you go. Now you have the result of BMI for each month of the year. Actually, this is going to be automatically calculated if I go back in weights and I remove the weights for these two, the last month, November and December. Okay, as you can see, automatically the weight differences disappeared, vanished, yeah, because the formula doesn't display anything. Usually, as I told you, it's not going to be differences for heights. So now we don't have anything here. I go back to weights and I'm going to write again the weights here. Let it be here 80. As you can see now, the weight differences is displayed automatically. This formula, which you can see here in the formula bar, will display the result. And I go to BMI sheet, and as you can see here appear automatically the result for BMI 2612, because I think the weight is the same like in January. If here is going to be 78 enter, yeah, as you can see the weight differences was changed already. I go to BMI and here as you can see the result for BMI is changed automatically. Now it's 25.47. This A resident in November is framed somewhere here in normal weight, which is very good. So let's go to enter the next weight. Let it be 79 here. Let it be 66, 74, and 71.50. Yeah, as you can see, automatically Excel displayed the result for differences, for weight differences compared with previous month. And I go here to BMI, and as you can see I've got automatically the result for BMI. And I go here down here in this table and I do a check, and as I can see I don't have any problem with the weights, because all the weights is fit in normal weight. And here I've got this 25.78, which is a bit overweight, but actually is exactly on the lower limit of this range overweight, so there is no concern. So in this way this application in Excel 2016 works for the weight differences and BMI. And now I'm going to write the weights for December for each resident. I think this is too much. Here you go, and I go to BMI sheet, and as you can see for December it's display automatically the result for BMI, and I can do a review. Here I've got 26.56, so this one is framed here in overweight, but it's not again a big problem. Here it might be a problem, 27.92. which is obviously is overweight. This resident, the D resident, and there maybe the team leader or someone from management should do something. The next is to protect to this sheet. I go here, yeah, first I should protect my formula. I should hide the formula, and I should lock the formula. So I'm gonna go here and protection hidden. Okay, and I'm gonna do this to December. Here you go. And if you want to have columns which you don't want to lock it, you go back here, protection, and uncheck this locked. And you do the same for each columns you don't want to be locked. And next is review, protect sheet, write a password, confirm the password, and here you go. As you can see, the formula is not shown anymore here in bar formula. You can't see the formula anymore. You can't change the formula. If you give a click with the left mouse, you will notice you can't see the formula anymore in here in the formula bar. You can't change the formula, but you can change the data in the columns where you unchecked the locked. For example, these two columns were unchecked, and yeah, as you can see, I can change the height. But if I go here in March, if I remember well, I haven't unlocked this, so you can't change the height anymore in these columns, because I haven't unchecked this formula, and I haven't unchecked the locked for these columns. But as you can see, we can see the data, because these columns for heights wasn't hidden. I have hidden just the formula. As you can see, you can't see the formula any longer in formula bar here above. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video tutorial, and I'm waiting for you to watch my another video tutorials. See you next time. Bye bye.